Jesus Christ, what is happening right now? Oh my goodness. Alright, that may be a bit of a bug. So hey guys, so welcome to another Warframe video, and today I want to take a quick look at Silva Aegis Prime, and oh my goodness did this thing get a buff. This was like a Boltor to Boltor Prime kind of buff. Because when we compare the primed version to the original version of the Silva Aegis, we can see that everything got buffed except for attack speed. The weapon did get a little bit slower with the prime update. So the attack speed went from 1 to 0.75, which is actually pretty slow, but the crit chance went from 5% to 15%, the multiplier went from 150% to 200%, the status chance went from 20 to 25, and the damage went from 35 to 120. You also have to be at least Mastery rank 12 to use it, and it got 3 more polarities. It has a V, 2 Ds, and a V in the stance slot, whereas the original one only had a V in the stance slot. Now, this weapon also comes with a unique mechanic where taking damage while blocking will boost your next attack, giving it bonus crit and status chance, which stacks up to 4 times. And I have no idea how much you're actually getting per stack, but Wiki says it's 15% per stack, so in total you're gonna get 60% if you have 4 stacks. And it works even if you're not technically blocking the damage, so if there is an enemy behind you and you're blocking while he's hitting you in the back, you're still gonna get the stacks. They even went back and added it to the original Silva Aegis too, which is pretty nice. Now the build I decided to go for is focused more on killing large groups of enemies that are sort of up to level 80. The stance I decided to go for is 11 Stone because of this combo right here, Diamond Deus, or more specifically, the shield throw you get at the end of Diamond Deus, because if you throw this into a group of enemies, you will see a lot of numbers pop up, especially if you're using gas damage. It just gives you a nice bit of range, which is really good, especially for a build without reach or primed reach, and also as the shield is flying through the air, it will deal damage 6 times before it returns back to you. And it's also incredibly easy to use, because you just hold the block button while mashing the melee button, which also means that you'll be blocking throughout the entire thing. So if you're taking damage while you're performing it, you will be stacking bonus crit and status. I do understand, by the way, why some people prefer Final Harbinger, because it's just this glorious, violent breakdancing of doom that flings you all over the place and bonks everything in your way, but I just personally prefer 11 Storm. And that's enough blabbering about the stance, so let's take a look at the mod. So I'm using Prime Pressure Point for some damage, then I'm using Blood Rush, which is going to increase my critical chance as I build up my combo counter, which is really good, especially with the bonus you get from blocking. Then I'm using Organ Shatter, which is going to increase my critical multiplier, Drifting Contact, which is going to increase the duration of my combo counter, so it's much easier to sustain, and it also adds a little bit of status chance. Then I've added Primed Fury, which is very much a personal preference. You can easily go with Berserker, because once it gets going, Berserker is actually faster than Primed Fury, but I just hate how slow and sluggish the weapon is without any Berserker proc, so I just went with Primed Fury just in case my Berserker runs out. Then if I'm running solo, I'm gonna use Healing Return for a little bit of healing and to also utilize the depolarity, but if I'm going in a party, I'm gonna run Guardian Derision so I can taunt enemies, they attack me and I get bonus crit and status, and I'm also protecting my teammates. You can also swap Healing Return for Life Strike if you want to, and finally I'm using Fever Strike and Virulent Scourge, which is gonna combine with the base heat damage from Silva Aegis to create the gas. Now, the reason why I'm using Virulent Scourge and Fever Strike rather than 2 dual stat mod is because the damage over time effect from gas, which is the toxin, is calculated from the amount of toxin damage you've put into the gas combo. So it's always beneficial to do it this way because the damage you get from the gas explosion is going to be the same, but the toxin damage you get afterwards is going to be much stronger if you do it this way. And oh my goodness, I almost forgot about the slam attack. So unlike with most weapons, when you do a slam attack with Silva Aegis Prime, just like the original Silva Aegis, you will cause a fiery shockwave that deals heat damage, unsurprisingly, but also has a guaranteed heat proc and knocks enemies back. Now this is basically the same build I was using on the original Silva Aegis on crack. It demolishes the Infested, the Corpus, Grineer Cannon Fodder, and I was actually kind of surprised at how effective it was versus the beefier Grineer units like Bombards and Heavy Gunners, especially if they're grouped up, because once you throw your shield into a group of Bombards, you're gonna get so many gas procs, it's actually gonna chunk them quite a bit because they're gonna have like 5 or 7 toxin dots on them. I was just surprised at how well it dealt with high-level Bombards and Heavy Gunners, considering it was not designed to do that. Corrosive and Heat is of course going to be better versus these big beefy units because you can strip away their armor, but that's the beauty of Silva Aegis Prime. It doesn't matter if you think my build is dumb and you don't like it, because you can just do something else. There are so many different builds you can use. You can go for crit, you can go for status, you can build it for gas, you can go for hybrid, you can go with a crazy viral setup. Even an old school non-combo setup would work, because you don't need crazy crit from Blood Rush and crazy status from Weeping Woods to get good crit and status because of the bonus you get from blocking. That's actually something I'm really thinking about trying, because I'm kind of getting sick of these combo setups because I use them on every single melee weapon now. So Silva Aegis Prime gets a big thumbs up from me. The weapon is just amazing and you should definitely get it if you can. The versatility, it's glorious. The only downside here is that the weapon is pretty slow, so if you want to go for a straight up status build and you don't have Primed Fury, the weapon is going to feel a wee bit sluggish. I personally really like the new primed look, but some people don't. They either don't like the mace or the shield, or the mace and the shield, but you know, at the end of the day, if you really don't like it, you can either use the Feyarch skin, or if you want a more vanilla look to it, you can use the Day of the Dead skin if you got it. It's definitely not the best solution, because some people were hoping to wave around an Orokin flame, but you know, it's better than nothing. And I think I've been rambling for long enough, so as always guys, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.